Go, 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 go,
Guys,
go.
guys, we broke the rules. Oh no. We might be in trouble.
Today we are in the spot, Frisco, Texas, to show you why this place is blowing up, why you want to be here, close to here, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's honestly the place to be, and we're going to answer all of the questions that have been burning in your little hearts, why you want to be here, what's so great about it, and what kind of crazy homes are they building.
That's right, we're going to show you a bunch of these really luxurious homes, what's going on in the area. We're also going to show you the rules that we were breaking rules on back there, all that kind of stuff, the amenities, all. Let's get it started.
Guys, the easiest way I can sum up this house is it looks like something that a movie star would live in, and I know you guys are ready to see it, so let's jump into it real quick. Guys, it's amazing what they put in this house. Everything in it just makes you feel like you're in a modern art museum or something, but a lot cozier. And actually, before we get to what's behind the camera, because the kitchen is just amazing, and I think there's something missing from there that I wouldn't have expected from a luxury home. But let me know what you think. We're gonna point this out real quick while we're here, because we don't normally go into the secondary bedrooms. They're bedrooms, 4 walls and a door. This one's maybe a 12 by 11, nice high ceilings. But what really stands out about this one is the theme you're gonna see through the rest of this house. And that's every single bedroom has its own full ensuite bathroom and a really good sized closet. So this is a 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath, 4,600 square feet. It's a really good sized house. So if you've got like the mother-in-law coming over, or maybe friends staying for the weekend, they're not going to be put out because they don't have the right amenities or anything. And you will notice this is a 2-story house, and the second story has something amazing going on that if you like hosting, you're going to absolutely love it. And no, it's not these glass panel banisters, though they do look nice. And speaking of glass and hosting, you get a wine cupboard here under the stairs. This is amazing because the first thing that your friends are going to see whenever they walk into your house is this gorgeous display that you have. You're showing off alcoholism. It's a really cool thing you can do, I guess. But if nothing else, it looks really nice. But tucked away over here in the corner, we've got something that I feel like every house should have. And no, it's not the half bath, though. This is really nice to have next to your garage. So whenever you come home from those long road trips, you can, take care of business quickly. It's a theater room tucked away over here under the upstairs area. Now, this one's done really well. Sconces, decorative lighting, you're going to see a lot of that throughout this house. Gives it like that oomph, that very flamboyant but elegant feel that this house just kind of embodies. And honestly, it kind of is embodied in the rest of this area because this is in Fields, which is a neighborhood in Frisco. And if you know anything about Dallas area, Frisco is the place to be, and for really good reason. You've got everything from Universal Studios to actually we are right next door to the PGA headquarters. So hop, skip, and a jump over there. You can actually get a house on the PGA golf course that they're putting in the preserve section of this neighborhood, albeit a lot more expensive than this part of the neighborhood, but you do have that option. And you know what they say in real estate, location, location, location. As nice as this is, I actually think there's another location that we're going to show you guys here in just a little bit that is probably even better than this one. But we're in the living room right now, and you can see there's a lot going on here. These ceilings are 20-something feet tall. You've got these amazing built-ins, and all of this just kind of flows. It feels very elegant, bright, and open, and airy. And then this is the part that kind of tripped me out, because you got this gorgeous kitchen with all the appliances, the farmhouse sink. These are really nice so you don't get water and stuff splashed up on you while you're working, but it kind of opens up the sink so it makes it a lot easier to do the work while also looking very elegant. And there's something missing about this kitchen. Now this is a $1.8 million house, and why would there not be a fridge in a $1.8 million house? I'll tell you why. Because they did it so well, you wouldn't even know it was a refrigerator. It looks like a cabinet. These are the kind of touches you're talking about whenever you're in this price point. And honestly, they kind of blow me away. The backsplash and everything looks great. And pantry lover's dream, you got a work-in pantry here. Spice rack up on the wall, more of that lovely granite. And if you like this granite, they did it in the bathroom in just a most spectacular way. Honestly, the bathroom looks like something out of a magazine. And I can't wait to show you guys, but while we're here, let me point this out real quick. So you do get a covered patio. It's a little windy outside. I'm not going to go out there. You'll just hear mic noise the whole time. But you get plenty of space. That's a 6-person round table, as well as an outdoor cooking area. And then an extended little fire pit area over there. And you'll see that lot goes all the way down. So this is a 60-foot lot, and most of them aren't going to be that deep, which is why you get into these neighborhoods early. And how you find out about these neighborhoods before everyone starts clamoring into them, you got to reach out to us. We already keep these areas scoped out. We recon everything, so you guys don't have to, because I know a lot of y'all are coming in from out of state, and that can be a pain. But we got an office space right here, and I think they did this one really smart. I mean, it looks great. You got the wallpaper and everything, but it's right outside of the master bedroom, and you know they usually keep that part of the house pretty quiet, you know, away from the kids and the activities. So if you're working, you don't have to worry about that noise, and in your bedroom, you don't have to worry about that noise either, and man, what a bedroom it is. So one of the things we've noticed, even with some of these bigger houses, the master bedroom seems to lack in space. This one, not so much. They made it nice and deep. That's probably 18 feet deep, 18 feet wide. And then what they did with the ceiling really blew me away, because they did this little, I don't even know what you call it. They put accent lighting on the front and on the back of the pop-up that they put up there. It almost looks like it's floating in your bedroom. Really nice touch. But the bathroom, honestly, is just the thing that blew it away. Because as we come into here, the bathroom just has accent lighting everywhere. Nice big marble-like tile. I actually don't know what that is, but my God, this shower is enormous. Like, Tom probably has to pan to get all of that in view, and it goes all the way across. You got a little sitting bench over there. Like, my girl, she loves being in the tub and everything. She would absolutely go nuts over something like this. And another thing I feel like people go nuts over is the size of the closets for some reason. I mean, I get it. Storage space is great, and you get plenty of it here. It's like a his and hers closet that's kind of all together. You see they got his over there, hers over here. Ceilings are still nice and tall in here. You get plenty of built-ins, and of course, huge fan of this feature right here, it all connecting to the laundry room. Man, this thing just has it all, except you guys haven't seen the upstairs. It has everything and a bag of chips. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Not only is this a beautiful house, honestly, they put this on a great location. From that front window out there, you can actually see the PGA golf course and preserve and everything that they're putting in there. And why is that significant? Well, I mean, aside from the fact that Shaq may be moving in there, I don't know, I just heard that. That also means a ton of business is coming to this area. I mean, golf courses are expensive, and it takes people with deep pockets to be able to make something like that happen. And so, you know, that allows you to build stuff like this in these amazing communities, and ensures that you're going to have a decent investment whenever you go to buy your house. As a matter of fact, we were talking to one of the sales reps for the other builders, and it turns out somebody who had bought their house at about 1.2, before he even finished having it built, he had an offer to buy at 1.7. Not saying that's going to happen to you, but isn't that freaking crazy? But now this is what I really want to show you guys, because if you like to host, or you have, you know, crazy parties for your Super Bowl or whatever, you have something like this. Now, this feels like I'm walking into a completely different house. You've got these cathedral ceilings with the decorative beams, tons of natural lighting. I'm probably getting blown out a little bit here with the camera and everything, but this is great. Like, it feels very open and airy. You got tons of space for any sort of activities. And then this right here, I think, is the pièce de résistance, because you get this crazy bar setup as well. Like, this is probably one of the bigger bars that I've seen in a loft area in most of the houses we go through. I mean, rightfully so. It's a 4,600 square foot house. You got plenty of room. You might as well put in plenty of bar as well. Me and my buddies would just be hanging up here all day. I actually started a Lego set recently that needs a ton of space. My brain immediately went to, oh, this would be a great place to build it on, just a big flat area. But the thing is, like, this bar isn't even going to hold a candle to the one that you're going to see later in this video. It's an outdoor bar, and honestly, it just kind of reset the way that I think about patio setups. Tom's going to show you that one. It's amazing. And this is one thing I just kind of want to point out. It's a bit of a joke. These baseboards, these are 10-inch baseboards. That's a big baseboard. Most of them are going to be like 3, 4, 5. I think some of the more luxury baseboards are like 6 inches. But I just thought to myself, at what point does it stop being baseboard and start becoming wainscoting? Because if they just keep bringing the baseboards up like 24, 36 inches, that's going to be like up to here. And then at that point, it's wainscoting again, and we look like we're back in the 70s. But anyway, back this direction, we've got 2 more bedrooms, both with ensuite bathrooms and really good sized closets. And actually, back on the other side of the staircase, you've got 1 more. So that brings your bedroom count back up to 5, which is crazy. That's a ton of bedroom space. You're gonna notice that with all of the houses here. They are huge. Space is the name of the game. And now you're gonna wanna check out this next one, because honestly, it probably, you know, it's probably a competitor for one of the best houses you're gonna see today.
Now, this builder is gonna have a completely different feel than the last one we saw, and plus this location is completely different. I think it's, in my opinion, it's better for a couple reasons we'll talk about here in a second. And also, If that first price shocked you, hang around. We're actually gonna show you another builder in here that's building something a lot more economical. And actually later on in this video, we're gonna show you one more neighborhood that is probably the best deal you can get in Frisco right now. So just walking into this house, it feels very classy. Obviously, you've got a nice door. You've got some iron doors that open to your office we'll get to here in a second. But first, our first guest suite here. And I will say about this location, as far as the fields go, is actually, in my opinion, the best. And if you're thinking about moving out here, you need to. All of these builders are closing out. Just give you an idea of closet size real quick. Nothing huge here. So if you're using this as a guest room, this would be perfect. But Jack had mentioned you're across from the PGA, beautiful bathroom here, right? The PGA golf course. You're also gonna be able to walk, bike, or use your golf cart to get over to Universal Studios. So if you end up getting a season pass to that, you can actually walk there from there. Another thing that Frisco is doing is Kaleidoscope Park. They're putting $40 million into a park you can walk to from here. It's gonna be absolutely phenomenal. So you're gonna have all of this stuff within walking distance if you want that kind of lifestyle. Jack's gonna talk about amenities in a little bit, but check out this office. This is cool. Like, I feel like to own this office, there are two requirements. Number one, you have to have scotch over here, right? For those big meetings where somebody comes over and you're talking business. And then number two, you have to have a pinky ring. I don't know if you guys noticed in like any movie where there's like a very powerful dude, he's got a pinky ring. I feel like you need it. But well done in here. So these are the kind of options that you can get in these luxury builds here. Now, another thing to note, really cool herringbone pattern here in the entryway. We're gonna see that here in just a minute. We've got a staircase that wraps, goes to the second floor we'll get to. And then this is really, like this is just like candy for your eyes when you see this. But number one, living room right here. I love that they've done these floating shelves with lighting. I think lighting is such a big deal whenever you get into this kind of price range. They've done a phenomenal job here. And this is crazy too. These are actually giant, I think these are giant tiles. It looks like granite, but these actually span the entire width of the fireplace. So it's a really cool look here. We've got a glass door over on this side that gets to our back patio. We'll get there in a minute. And then this is all open. In our kitchen, oh my gosh, it's phenomenal. There's so much to talk about, but look at this. I mean, you've got, these are big chairs. You can fit 8 people here easily. And I don't know if you caught this, but huge ceilings. Should have mentioned that. So if you're hosting, this just feels very elegant, very classy. And then this kitchen, there's a lot of stuff in here that I've never seen before. Speaking of which, the bathroom here, a lot of stuff we've never seen before. A couple of things we've talked about, we're like, why has this never been done? Well, they actually did it here. So, but first off, this is a really cool look. So this is more of a modern feel. And I love the fact that they stain these and those and this, these and those and this, different colors. As like your accent color, right? A lot of times we see the island as a different color or bottoms and tops. I think this is a really cool look. Also, never seen this before. I think this is a great idea. Like you can have your little spices up here, all the stuff that you normally use when you're cooking a lot. I think it's very convenient to have a spot like that. Never seen it, love it. And obviously, this is the other thing. If you're buying a luxury home like this, you definitely have to have nice appliances. These are monogram, 6-burner stove top. And then of course, if you're cooking eggs, like your little griddle in the morning, must have. Anyways, couple ovens there. You've got your microwave down low. What is this, a warmer? Nope, just a drawer. It's a warmer drawer, yeah. So if you're having guests over, you're doing hot dogs, whatever, keep them warm. Wine rack here. What I thought was just shelves. This is actually an ice maker. Boom. And then you have your freezer here. And a built-in, you can obviously tell, unlike the last house, there's a refrigerator here, right? So not as well hidden as before, but also very nice. And then back here, you've got your pantry, mud bench that goes out to your garage, and a laundry room here. And that's the only thing, you know, in this part of the house that I think would have been nice to do a little bit different. It's pretty tight in that laundry room. So if you're somebody that's got a bunch of kids or doing a bunch of laundry, that may be one of those things where you want to figure out how to make that space a little bit bigger. Now, as we're getting to the master, you've got a half bath here. This goes out to your patio, which we'll get to here in a bit. and then this brings you into your master. So first thing I said to Jack when we walked in, I was like, not that big. So it's a good size, don't get me wrong, right? You have all of this space here. We walk a ton of properties all over the place, right? And so in this price point, we're like, man, it seems a little bit small, but it's perfectly fine as far as taking care of all of your needs, right? And when we talk about going to all these different builders and everything, one of the things, as small as this seems, but if you give that a knock, that's a solid core door. As crazy as it is, not all builders use these out here, so it's just a better product, right? You're not gonna get holes or anything like that. Your kid's not gonna get upset and punch a hole in it or something stupid like that. High quality doors, sand them down, repaint them, whatever. So that's one of the reasons you call us. If you wanna know, hey, who's the right builder to go with, all that kind of stuff, we work with all of these guys, we'll tell you. But let's talk about this bathroom. I don't know if you guys have been watching the channel long enough, give me a shout out if you have, but we went through another house and I said, you know, I've never seen in a bathroom a vanity with a waterfall finish, yet here it is. So, and I gotta say, I love the look. I love the fact that they floated the bottom, they've got lighting there, and then this all wraps around your tub. I think it's a really clean look. I think it's nice. I think it's really nice. And then the other thing we hadn't really seen, I don't think we've seen before, is a floating shower bench. I also think that is cool. They also have like a bunch of blowers here. So if you just want to be like a car wash and just give it a spin and get everything clean, you can absolutely do that here. Now, the one thing I will say, if you're spending this much money for a house, you probably got a lot of stuff and they didn't give you a lot of space here. So that's, I guess, my only downside to this particular floor plan. I don't know if there's a way for them to make this bigger, but this is her closet, right? And so ladies, if you're looking at it and going, oh no, that's not enough, then obviously you're gonna be taking up your husband's closet as well. And I don't know where he's gonna put his stuff. Maybe he gets a dresser. But this is the other closet here. Obviously you've got tall ceilings, right? And they've done some nice things with the shelves, but you think about once you get your clothes in and everything else, there's really not gonna be a whole lot of space. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And obviously, if you're looking to build, we'd like to work with you. We talk about all of that kind of stuff too, if you're concerned about it, all that. And later on, we're gonna show you, if you are gonna build from the ground up, we're gonna show you a absolutely beautiful home that you can actually buy today. And not only that, you can buy it with all the furniture in it, just ready to go, boom, let's do it. And it's really gonna give you a good insight on why it's important to, let me share this real quick. Why it's important to actually think through all these things and maybe even have an interior designer along the way. This is one thing in the kitchen here. I don't know if anybody knows, but they went back to that herringbone pattern that they had in the entryway. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do, just give you that sense of separation, but have it be a little bit different. So anyways, now we can go upstairs. Sorry, Jack's going, I don't know where we're going. Anyways, we're gonna head upstairs, show you around there. So right behind me, actually, the staircase splits. This is a whole ensuite bedroom right here, which is really cool because that's completely separated from everything else. So if you want your guest room to be upstairs, great way to do it. And then coming up the other side here, this is gonna bring us into our loft. Now, I actually misspoke earlier. I said that you could actually take a golf cart or whatever over to Universal Studios. That was wrong. That's across the highway. What you could actually go over to is what's gonna be called Frisco West. And it's gonna be a series of businesses and shopping that is, if you're familiar with the Legacy West in Plano, it's gonna be very similar, but twice as big. So it's gonna be this really cool spot where you can go grab a bite to eat, go shopping, a great place to hang out during the day, all that kind of stuff. And so again, that goes with the lifestyle. If that's what you're looking for, that's why this area is primo. And so anyways, vaulted ceilings here. Over here, we're gonna have a bathroom here. And this is actually gonna be for this bedroom here, which is cool. It drops down. One cool feature, like on the exterior of this house, they had a little bit of stucco with these pop outs. And so this is the pop out right here, which allows you to have this cool little bench, little reading bench or whatever it is. But anyways, really good sized room. This is probably 12 by 14. It's a pretty long room. And a walk-in closet. So anyways, and that's the other thing you're gonna find. Most of these builders over here in these bigger homes are gonna have, let me show you this real quick. This is actually the theater setup right here as well. But most of these builders on these larger size lots, which they have, believe it or not, I think the smallest lot here is like 35 feet wide, but they go up to 70. Some of them go a little over 70 But most of the larger builders are gonna have bathrooms in all their bedrooms, which is, I think, something you wanna have at this price point. So anyways, we'll work our way around here and find ourselves in another bedroom. So over here is the bathroom for this one, and give you guys an idea on closet space, make things very difficult for Jack. Not huge, not huge. Again, never heard that before. And then here's the bedroom. This one is probably 12 by 13, 12, maybe if I had to guess, 12 and a half by 12 and a half, final answer. So we're gonna head downstairs, check out the back patio, and there's a little bit of a battle for patios going on out here. So we're gonna show you that one before we get to, I think, probably one of the nicest ones we've ever shown on this channel. So stepping onto the back patio, they've done a very nice job out here. Obviously a lot of space. They got that big slider glass door here, cook station over here. And the other thing, we mentioned this before a couple times, but I love the fact that they've got these motorized shades that will come down. So if it's super hot out, super windy, if you got bugs, whatever, that kind of helps protect everything. The other thing that's interesting about this is kind of the way they did this roof line. This might have been something they had to do because of the roof line, but I love the fact that they did wood up here and they kind of chamfered this at the end. It's a really cool look. Now, if you're looking to build over in this section of the neighborhood, one of the nice things is there's multiple builders to choose from. They're all running out of lots. So if you're interested, you definitely need to get over here quick. This builder is probably gonna range from about 1.4 up to however much you wanna spend, but usually 1.4 to about 2. And then the next builder, so if you're looking at this and you're like, oh my gosh, Tom, I love the lifestyle that you're describing so far. I love that it's in the middle of everything. There's so much happening here, but that is a lot of money. This next builder is gonna have some stuff that's a little bit smaller that allows you to get into this neighborhood for a lot less. And then of course, after this, we're gonna take you to another neighborhood and give you an idea of what I think is probably one of the best deals in Frisco. So let's get going.
So a beautiful neighborhood like this needs to have beautiful amenities, and you can see the amenities center right behind me. We'll talk about what they got going on back there here in just a little bit. But I know every number that we've been throwing out here today has started with like a 1 million, and that can be really daunting for a lot of people. I mean, heck, one of the builders here is so exclusive that they said we weren't allowed to film, but don't worry, we got you guys. We got some clandestine footage and the house looks amazing. So go ahead and check out that B-roll while I'm over here rambling. But back in the day, you could get back into this place pretty reliably for the low $700,000, which isn't anything crazy compared to some of these other places we've shown you guys, and very reasonable considering the area. That being said, you'll notice some of these houses are getting skinnier and skinnier. Those $700,000 houses are on 35-foot lots, and for somebody who doesn't like doing a lot of lawn maintenance, that may be a really good deal. For some of you guys who may want a bit of a bigger yard, that might be a deal breaker. But it was a very cost-effective way for people to get close to where the action is, and Frisco is definitely where it's at. Now, there are still a few options that are in those low $700,000 ranges, but they're getting fewer and further between. But what we are going to show you guys is a builder that's still building under $1 million, and we're going to go check that out now. This builder is something that I like to talk about for a very unusual reason that I'll tell you about here in a second while we talk about property taxes. But let's go check this thing out and see if you guys can't figure out what it is I like about them. So coming in through this nice arched doorway, I'm a huge fan of this builder, and honestly this floor plan, the way it's set up, it was almost a must for a couple of our buyers, and I'll tell you why in a second when we get to the kitchen. But while we're here, the office setup is also very smart too, because that last office you saw, as nice as it was, this one I do really like it because it almost makes it feel like you're equals over here on either side as opposed to looking at this daunting individual. So it can be a lot more homey if you're bringing people over to have like a side-by-side desk they can just walk into. That's the way I have mine set up, so I'm a big fan of it. You do get a full-size bathroom over here, or technically 3/4 bath. It doesn't have a bathtub, but it does have a nice frameless shower, frameless glass shower. You get a coat closet here, a bedroom with an ensuite bathroom over here as well, and then oh, that's the master. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow, okay. See, it is still a full bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, but it's also the master bedroom. Yeah, I just wasn't as right as I could have been. See, I wasn't paying attention whenever we walked through here about an hour ago to scope this place out, but yeah, you see vaulted ceilings, decorative beams, looks really nice. Now this is honestly pretty cozy, and it's different to have the master at the front of the house. Some people like it, some people don't, so it kind of goes one way or the other. But you get floating vanity over here on your left, frameless shower glass here on your right, nice rain head in the shower, and I'm a big fan of the standing tub, plenty of sunlight coming in there. You might just want to get a mirror in case you just like the neighbors seeing all your giblets. But here, we're about to walk into the living room here, and I'll show you what it is that I thought was so smart about this, because as soon as we walk in here, ceilings shoot up to like 20 something feet. You see the banister from the loft that we'll get to in a minute. You get a nice decorative fireplace, painted brick all the way up. Brings the eyes just kind of this direction, which is great because you have transom windows up here that you may not be able to see. Lets in a ton of natural lighting that most people don't even appreciate until they don't have something like that. Breakfast nooks over here, but you got the kitchen set up here, and it's a lovely kitchen. You get the waterfall on the sides of the island, the apron here with the sink, and I love the brass accents and everything through here. But the thing that really stands out about this, and the thing that you may not recognize until you're actually living in a house like this, is whenever you have a kitchen that's set up across from your living room. And I didn't realize I did this until one of my clients had pointed it out, but whenever I'm doing dishes, it's kind of mind-numbing. It doesn't really engage the brain or anything like that, as lovely as this kitchen setup is. But I'll put my phone up on the little windowsill that I have, and I'll watch YouTube or a podcast or something while I'm working to keep me occupied. She told me that she needed a house where the living room was facing, or the kitchen was facing the living room, so that way she could watch TV while she was doing the dishes. And I thought, that is genius. How have I never thought of that before? And just like that, we've got a kitchen set up, a lovely one too. It faces the TV, so you can be over here working and, you know, distracting yourself from maybe a heat source you shouldn't be while working in the kitchen. Anyway, I think it's a really smart setup. You do have your garage access through your laundry room over there. It's a nice little setup with shelving over the top of the washer dryer. But upstairs, you get plenty of extra square footage. So as we come up the stairs, this one's got tons of square footage upstairs for guests, kids, whatever. And we'll talk about what's on that side in a second. But right now, we've got a bedroom over here with no ensuite bathroom. That one's just a bedroom, but this one over here is right across from a full bath. So if kids are up here, they'll be sharing that bathroom. The thing that I think stands out the most about this builder is the build quality. I have what I call the banister test, or the handrail test, where I go into a builder's, model home, and I give the banister a good shake. And that kind of gives me an idea of like how much effort they put into their craftsmanship, the materials, things like that. This builder right here, honestly, like nothing moves. Like everything's very solid. It's well put together. Like, sure, it's not the flashiest build ever, but like if you want quality, like quality materials, quality builds, hands down, one of the best, easily. And on top of that, they come out with these crazy, like, big loft areas where you can fit an oversized solid wood, even quality material in their staging furniture, ping pong table, really nice setup there. And all of this actually flows into your theater setup over here. This is kind of like an open flex space. They have it set up like a theater, really nice touch. Now, one thing that I want to point out, because you don't see this in a lot of builders' houses, is the staging furniture, and that's going to be really relevant because of the next house we're going to show you. But I know you guys want to hear about those property taxes, because it's pricey over here. If you're dropping $1 million plus on a house, you don't want to pay 3% in property taxes. That'd be absolutely insane. Luckily for you guys, Frisco has some of the lowest in the Metroplex. Isn't this a lovely backyard? I'm just kidding. We are going to talk about property taxes. So Frisco actually has some. They range between 1.6 to 1.7, depending on what neighborhood you land in. And if you know anything about the DFW area, that is really low. Fort Worth is like 2.43 right now, so significantly less. And whenever you're buying $1 million house, that can be a lot off of your monthly payment. So it's really drawn a lot of people here. Frisco makes it very business friendly and very, consumer friendly as well. But we're actually here in the backyard. You get a bit of a covered patio, and well, I mean, honestly, that's the backyard whenever you buy on a 40-foot lot, which kind of sucks, but you're in this phenomenal neighborhood which has these crazy amenities. So you saw that amenity center back there, right down the street from where we are right now. It's got sports courts, it's got a convention, like a little meeting center area that you can rent out, as well as a pool and like a sunning area. So it's a really nice setup. So you don't really need to worry too much about how small your backyard is. You send the kids over there, they're gonna have a grand time. Speaking of grand times, this whole house that you're gonna see next just kind of blew me away. That staging furniture I pointed out earlier, that's normally there just for decoration. These guys are actually offering a almost unheard of opportunity to buy the house with all the furniture they put in it, and my God, did they put some beautiful stuff in there. You're gonna wanna see this.
A Spanish style home is not one that we show very often on this channel because it's not super common, but this one is so well done. I'm excited to show you. Let's go take a look. So what's crazy about this house is you can actually buy this with everything in it, the furniture, the decorations, everything except for one thing, which we'll show you here in just a minute. But I gotta start out by just saying, how cool is this stack stone? Like, this is so well done. I think one of the things you think about with Spanish style homes is wood and stone. I think that's a key element to it, and they've done a phenomenal job here. This wraps all the way upstairs. You're gonna see some more over here in the living room, and the kitchen is so cool. Probably a short person's worst nightmare. We'll talk about it here in a minute. Coming over this way, right off the entryway, this is so cool as well. I feel like you have to call this a lounge. I mean, it's got this, I feel like you should be smoking cigars in here or something and drinking some brandy. I don't know, but this is one of the things that I think having an interior designer really helps with. You got a wet bar over here, and then like knowing what kind of couch is going in here, I think this wallpaper matches perfectly. And the fact that if you know what you're putting on the wall, you know how many wall sconces to put up, right? So all of this really pulls everything together for a really clean look. I love it. I think it's super nice. Now, as far as this goes, they've got it set up as movie room lounge. Obviously, this could be a second living area. Maybe if you got rugrats running around, which speaking of, Frisco has some of the best schools in the area. I mean, phenomenal. There's kids that move here just for this, or the families that move here just for the schools. So you cannot go wrong in Frisco. They have a ton of schools as well. Here's your bathroom, nothing over the top size-wise. You've got a good walk-in closet here. But another thing about Frisco is just we talked a little bit about all the things right here that are going on. Another thing is you've got a new stock exchange opening up in downtown, so you're fairly close to that. There's all kinds of business around here. And then as far as shopping goes, there's a ton of shopping, right? We talked about Frisco West that's coming, but you also have like H-E-B and all that kind of stuff right around the corner. Not only that, but you also have a ton of hospitals in this area as well. So if that's something that's a concern for you, if you're getting a little bit older, you wanna make sure there's hospitals near you, phenomenal place as well. So here's that stacked stone again that you saw at the entryway. Really nice touch, bringing this back in, kind of making it cohesive throughout. And then over here, one of these nice little touches that they did is over here in your wet bar, they've got this iron door, it's rounded, very cool look. And then you've got a lot of wood accents in here. Love the lighting underneath all of these shelves. And they've got a textured backsplash. This is becoming like a really big thing right now. It's like we get a lot of this modern feel in these homes, but you still want to get like a touch of nature, right? And so texture is such a good way to do that. Speaking of which, making our way into the kitchen here, really nice waterfall island. And again, on this backsplash here, lots of texture. And this is something that we normally see in master bathrooms, but not kitchen and dining areas. They actually took this tile and ran it all the way through into your dining area here. And once again, you can see in this pop-up, there's wood here. And I think that is one of the things that this designer did really, really well. We're gonna see in the master bedroom, the ceiling I think was done phenomenally well. But of course, you've got really high-end appliances here. These are all Gen Air, and I'm gonna show you your worst nightmare if you are shorter, trying to use the microwave. Number one, can you reach it? I'm 6 foot, give you a frame of reference. But then even if you can reach it, by the time you open it, to try to reach in there, it's a little bit much. So, that is a very nice one that I feel like would have done better down here. Anyways, I feel like if you are wanting to make a deal on this, you call us. Obviously, we're here to help you. We get that fixed before you close. This is another thing. I think if you're gonna do a glass panel here, I think your shelves need to be just a little bit nicer. Maybe some built-in something, but anyways, easy fixes there. That is the only thing that I have to say negative about this house at all. And boy, I feel kind of silly about even bringing that up because as nice as everything is in here. But yeah, so let's make our way to the master. We're gonna get to this patio here in a second, which is probably the coolest one I've seen in a long time. Not only that, but the way that it's set up is very smart. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Now we did see in our very first house today, the office was kind of set up next to the master. Same setup here. And one of the things again, the interior decorating things that they did really well is in between all these moldings here, they went with a wallpaper. It's not really textured, it looks textured. It kind of feels textured. I don't even know. Anyways, you have to come see it for yourself. Feel it if you want to. Anyways, really nice office here. And then over here, we've got a half bath. Lights off. But if you have guests over, this is one that it could utilize, and then they would be like, oh, sweet office. And then this brings you into the master bedroom here. So this is actually a pretty good size. And this is one of the cool things I was talking about. So they've done actual real wood up top. They filled it in, and then they did beams on top of that. So it's a really cool finish out here. I think this is a nice touch as well with the lighting. And obviously, king size bed. You got huge side tables on either side, a lot of natural light, all the things you want to see, of course. And then this brings us into our master bathroom. Also very well done, right? You have a really big tub here. A lot of times these are kind of afterthoughts, they're smaller. I could definitely fit in this one. So good sized tub, separate his and her vanities, and even a little bit of a makeup counter there. Just want to make sure I got Jack in the shot here. And then good sized shower. You've got a rain head, and you've got a second head here. And the nice thing about this, you see there's two different handles here. This is one thing that I ran into before, learned this the hard way, but basically if there's one handle, it means one's working or the other one's working. If you got two, you can run them both at the same time. And to retroactively do it where you can do two at the same time could be very expensive if the plumbing lines aren't big enough. So something to keep in mind if you're building or if you're looking at one of these homes on the ground. Also another reason why they call us. You've got a linen closet here, and then this brings you into this massive closet. I love the fact that they've got like a little, this always reminds me when you go shopping for shoes and you got to sit down and try them on, except they need to have like a little mirror on the end. But I love when it's big enough to have this in your closet. That's when you know you're doing it right. And I think if you're buying a house like this, you want to have a good sized closet. And then again, can I compliment this builder anymore? I love the fact that they have a folding countertop here on top of their washer and dryer. Now, of course, this prevents you from getting the top loader, so if that's a big deal for you, you might not want this, but a lot of folding space, a lot of cabinetry. Love that they even have accent lighting in their laundry room. How crazy is that? So over here, you've got a little mud bench that goes out to your garage, and then we're gonna take you upstairs, show you around there before heading out to that back patio. Just so you guys know, doing Jack's banister test, this is solid. Super solid. So you can see that stacked stone coming all the way up. Again, sconce lighting along the way, it looks really nice. And then over this way, we're not gonna go all the way down there, but there's a separate bedroom over here. So you've got one removed from everything else. It's got its own ensuite bathroom as well. So if you have a older kid or whatever, or somebody else that wants some extra privacy, you can tuck them away on that side of the house. And then walking into this space, the other thing to notice, these beams, these giant beams that run all the way through your living room, they also run all the way up here, which is so cool, right? A lot of the times upstairs is an afterthought, but not here. And yeah, where do we start? There's so much room. First of all, you got a piano over here. Nice grand piano. And you would think this would be the thing that you would least want to move out of this house, but it is actually the one thing that would not stay if you wanted to buy everything in here, right? So the thing that the movers probably want to move the least amount they're gonna have to move. But bringing you through this way, here's like a second movie, living room, kids playroom, whatever have you. If you are doing like a multi-generational thing, you know, maybe somebody's got the whole upstairs area because you have this living space here, and then obviously this living space here as well. Kind of like the fact that they did those curtains. It'd be cool if you could pull them all the way across, but this is one of those things where planning ahead of time is really smart, because like to put in these lights and have them close to the right position, they're technically off set of the table a little bit, but like you have to plan on where those wires are going to come through your beams. Really cool. This is suede couches. Anyways, really cool look up here. And then also just point out, I'm geeking out on all the little finishes here, but this is a really cool way to do the walls as well. Now, what's cool about this bedroom here is it's got its bathroom, and this actually opens up to the rest of the space up here. So this is kind of a dual use bathroom as well. But let's head out to that back patio and show you the setup they've got going on. Now, stepping out onto the back patio, first thing you're gonna notice is the stamped concrete, which is really cool, right? If you're going for that kind of Spanish style look, I think this is a really cool way to go about it. And then also wood furniture out here. I mean, this is just part of the interior design factor, but you've got a really good space here. And what's crazy is it is so windy out here. We could barely fly the drone today, but you cannot feel any wind here. And that's because you've got walls coming around both sides of this back patio. And the other thing to mention here is this is actually extra deep, right? So this is probably, to here would be a standard size counter. They've gone extra deep with this, which is nice. They've got a wood tile accent out front. And I think this is really cool to do the tile all the way across the top. Of course, they've got their TV here. And guys, if you're somebody that really likes cooking, the grill's nice, but that's not gonna be enough for you, right? So out here in the backyard, you've got a nice little sitting area, little fire pit, and then your second setup, which is gonna be terrible as far as probably the camera work goes, but got another really deep countertop here. You got your refrigerator, Coyote appliances, which are fantastic for the outdoors. Another TV setup, right? Because you don't wanna miss that big play if you're over here manning the what is this? This is like a, skillet? No, it's not. It's I was thinking of the Blackstone. It's not a Blackstone, but you could probably get one that fits over the top. And then you got your egg, right? This is where the man's gonna be hanging out right here, right? So anyways, really cool setup here as well. And then obviously all of these backyards are different sizes, right? So you can see here there's not a ton. Over here we're gonna have just a little bit of lawn, so they went ahead and put some AstroTurf in, so incredibly low maintenance out here. Nice little water feature as well, so makes it very peaceful. But I know we had talked about that next neighborhood, which we're going to, which I think is probably the best deal in Frisco. We're gonna go check that out next. So we're right next to the amenity center here, and over here you can see this pond area. They've got more going in, and kind of off in the distance you can see a bridge over this way. So just on the other side of that bridge is gonna be Frisco West, where all the shopping, everything else is. So very easy to just walk over there, ride a bike, that kind of thing. It's gonna be super cool. Now the next neighborhood that we wanted to show you guys today, we're actually running out of time. So we're just gonna show you a little bit of B-roll, give you an idea of what the homes look like over there. But I still think it's one of the best deals in Frisco. If you're interested in that, obviously give us a call. We can get you more details on it. And then also, if you are interested, you're like, man, this area sounds amazing, but I don't want to spend that kind of money, then obviously there are other areas right around Frisco you can move to. We've got videos on all of them. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and watch the next playlist up here on the screen. And if you are interested in the other neighborhood, go ahead and subscribe so you make sure and watch that video whenever we post it. And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm. Call Tom.